Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. I'm your mayor, Chewy Plays Nintendo, joined by my co-mayor, Sergio. This episode is brought to you by Nate Lai, and please tell me if I have pronounced that correct or not. But they're one of our newest Patreon patrons, and today we're coming to you live in front of our Discord audience. It is 4th of July, so we'll be discussing holidays in Animal Crossing and taking questions directly from everybody listening on the Discord. So to start, how you doing this morning, Sergio?
Hi, Chewy, and hello, everybody on the Discord chat and also listening. I'm doing well. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. It's fun. I've got the day off. I've got pretty much the rest of the week off because
Oh,
tomorrow we're going on a flight to Colorado for a wedding. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to work from home because I'm not. I got to pack and
yeah.
stuff. I'm not going to do anything. And the flight is like, I, I don't know. I'd have to leave work early anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep. And then Friday I'll be gone. So, yeah, it's a long, long weekend for me, Wednesday through Sunday. Yeah, so what are you doing on this day? For anybody not in the States, today is July 4th, 4th of July, or Independence Day. So
Yes.
everybody gets the day off unless they work at like McDonald's or something. Just those places that stay open all the time,
Right.
gas stations. um, so yeah, any plans?
Not too much. I'm back to work full time, so I just wanna enjoy this little break or just relax at home and play some games. Yeah.
Right, because you were going in for half days with the beginning of the World Cup going on,
Yes.
which was fun. All my teams are gone now.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty much.
yeah, I guess it's just to watch whoever's the best now.
Right. Right. I think we agreed that probably your way is gonna do the best, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do well. I think we have some England fans in here. So yeah, they did great. I'm glad they broke their lose streak on penalty kicks.
Right.
That was huge. So pretty exciting win yesterday.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today, since it is a holiday, we wanted to kind of focus on holidays, either in real life or Animal Crossing. Both are fine. Both are fun. So since today is the 4th of July or Independence Day, as I said, I want to start by asking everybody in the live chat what their favorite holiday is. It can be either a real life holiday or an Animal Crossing holiday, or give us both holidays
Mhm.
that you like, both in real life or Animal Crossing. So while you put your answers in, I'm going to go ahead and ask you that question, Sergio. What holidays do you like? Real life, Animal Crossing, whichever.
Sure. As far as real life goes, I like Labor Day, even though it's just a regular day off. It's always a Monday, but for some reason or another, there's always something really cool happening in my Labor Days. For example, I know you watched the TV series Breaking Bad, and I
Oh,
remember in one Labor Day, a very cool episode aired, and that sort of just marked everything for me. I also for sure remember at least 2 or 3 Labor Days where I spend most of the day just playing Animal Crossing while listening to other podcasts. So yeah, it's always a fun, relaxing day for me.
yeah, I don't know. While you were saying that, I don't know if you heard, but like it sounded like a rocket just flew over my home.
Yes.
That was crazy. There must be some 4th of July thing. Usually we have like helicopters fly over, but that sounded like a straight up rocket. Yeah, I'm gonna blame 4th of July on that one. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. I guess Labor Day, I love it because it's of course a day off for everybody.
Right.
A day of no labor. I don't know why it's not called No Labor Day. But yeah, Labor Day is a fun one. I guess I always wondered what people do on Labor Day, and I guess eating hot dogs is a thing.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, no, that's a good question, but yeah, it's the hot dogs.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't really know. And I guess what about in Animal Crossing? What do you feel is your favorite there?
In Animal Crossing, I'm gonna have to go with Thanksgiving because I like Franklin, and I like the event, but mostly because of the music that plays in New Leaf. And I was thinking, I don't think it plays the whole day, but at least it's most of the day. And I just really like the song. It plays when you're outside, no matter where you are. You don't have to be just in the plaza. So it's a really nice song, and it's nice to hear it all day.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about Thanksgiving is the spread that Franklin sets up. I feel like it has the most interesting type of, I guess, just plaza event, like plaza look of
Right.
it, I think goes well. And so that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I guess for me, my real life favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, which is a US specific holiday. But I guess what I always liked about it is I'm one of seven, and I'm close to the end on that. Like, I'm
Hmm.
number six of seven kids. And so I've always had like older siblings and everything. And those older siblings have significant others. Either they're married or have just another family that they spend like the Christmas holiday with,
Hmm. Hmm.
or that time of year. So Thanksgiving for me was like the holiday where my family got together. And it was always fun because we'd go to my brother's house in when I was a kid. It would be Texas. He lived in Texas at the
Oh,
time, but now he lives in Arizona. So we go to Arizona each year for Thanksgiving, and it's a lot of fun. And then usually like Christmas times with the in-laws. But yeah, I guess I love
right.
Thanksgiving because that's like my family's kind of get together thing,
Nice.
and
Awesome.
I like it for that. And then in Animal Crossing, I'd say it's a tie between Halloween and Toy Day. And I like those specifically because those both kind of go on throughout the month,
Yes.
and you're doing things like the entire month for that holiday. So Halloween, you're trying to figure out what monsters are your villagers afraid of. You're collecting candy just in case you get it wrong and you have to hand over some goods. And then the Toy Day holiday is you talk to your villagers pretty regularly and make notes about what they're looking for
Right.
Toy Day.
Right.
And so that way, when you're acting as Jingle, the Christmas reindeer, or the Toy Day reindeer, you get to, give out presents and everything.
Right. It
Yeah, so I
was
like,
it was
uh,
nice. It was nice in New Leaf to be able to take a screenshot of those notes. So you didn't have to write them down. You could just look at your photos later on.
yeah, that's true. I guess technically you could do screenshots in City Folk if you had like an SD card or
Oh, that's
something
right. Yeah.
plugged in.
Right.
Um, but I always forgot about that because I didn't have an SD card
Oh.
then. I should put one in and try to do screenshots and see what I can do. That'd be a fun little test. But yeah, I guess I'm going to turn over to these comments and see what everybody's been listing as what they like. Luke says Christmas is great. Yes, always a fun holiday. What's fun about it, I think, is just like everybody kind of feels that. So people are just having a good time. um, yeah, it's a fun time
Right.
of year. Ban Samsey says favorite. Well, it's technically not a holiday in AC, but every Saturday night in AC.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yes, Saturday nights. I know where you can find Sergio. Oh, and pretty cool thing. I wish I decided to record yesterday as I played Animal Crossing. But then I was just like, I'm playing Splatoon. I'll play Animal Crossing in between. But I turned on the game and pretty much everything was going on. Everybody was moving into my main street.
Oh.
um, so the other day I got like the Luna kind of the public works for the Dream Suite, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Yesterday the gardening shop opened up in my
Mm.
town. As I was logging in, Isabel was like, "There's a new gardening shop on Main Street. You should go check it out." And I was like, "Finally, I can get an axe and plant this perfect apple."
Yes.
So that was exciting. But then I walked out my door and Shrunk was standing
Ah,
there, and
nice.
he was like, "I need signatures to open up Club LOL." And I was like, "Yes, of course. I need to get that immediately." So Club LOL is in the works now. I've completed the signatures, and I think you have to wait about a week, right,
Yes, it
before
takes
it's
a long
built.
time. Yes.
Okay. So next Monday, I'm gonna have it open,
Nice.
which means not this Saturday, unfortunately, but
Right.
the following Saturday, I'll be able to finally go meet KK Slider, or actually DJ
Right.
KK.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, a lot of fun things opening up there. But yeah, Saturdays are about to get a whole lot cooler in Haken.
Oh yes.
So DigiCho says, I always love Christmas holidays in game and real life. I like giving gifts to other people.
Oh nice.
um, yeah, I think that's fun. Nate also says can't beat Christmas. Lots of Christmas fans
Yeah.
here. Keith says looked through all holidays in AC, but Christmas/Toy Day is still the best. Toy Day is pretty neat. Yeah, so a lot of Toy Day fans. Oh, Nate says here we have Australia Day, sort of like 4th of July. Everybody gets together and has a barbecue and goes to the beach.
Oh nice.
Awesome. Barbecue on the beach sounds great. I'm originally from California, so I know beach days are tons of fun.
Yes.
Funny beach day story. My brother, who I mentioned, who lives in Arizona now, and we go to visit for Thanksgiving, they came one summer, and I remember they were kind of out and about, and I was a bit sad about it. I was like, oh, I wanted to hang out with them, but instead I come back after school. It was like the last week of school, but I come back after school and they're gone doing things. And I'm like, okay, I guess we'll hang out later. And so I remember the last day of school. I he took us to the beach. Like instead of going to the last day of school, we just skipped and went to the beach. And funny enough, they were holding some sort of like awards assembly on that day, and I was getting an award for perfect attendance. So on my perfect attendance day award, I was gone. So there you go.
Did you still get it?
I think I found out the next year when I got to school. Yeah, I went to school the next year and like, here's your perfect attendance award that we tried to give to you on the day you were gone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I think what's funny about it is I think my mom made a big deal about me getting perfect attendance, so she made me like go to Saturday school to make up a day or something that we
Oh wow.
missed.
Yeah.
And so in the end, I wasn't even there to get it. um, so yeah, I guess I've seen some more people hopping in case you wanted to answer. The question was, what is your favorite holiday, either in real life or in Animal Crossing or both? So if you have answered one of those questions too and want to answer the next one, like if you answered what your favorite was in Animal Crossing, go ahead and answer what your favorite is in real life. And so, yeah, we're open to both answers
Yes.
because it's a holiday here and we're celebrating holidays. um, so, yeah, any honorable mentions for you, Sergio? I know we didn't really go over this, but if you have
Right.
any holidays that just stand out for you.
Also Thanksgiving. I know that's your favorite, and it's true. Part of it, as gamers as we are, a lot of really good games usually come out around Thanksgiving. Usually the
Yeah.
week before, so that they can sell during Black Friday, which is a pretty big day for sales here in North America and in many parts of the world actually. So yeah, there's always a lot of good games either recently out or coming out very soon after Thanksgiving. So that part of it also adds to it, I think.
Yeah, November is a huge month for games. I know
Yes.
this one, we've already got Pokemon on the way, so I'm sure everybody's pretty excited for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Those are going to be tons of fun.
Yes.
um, I guess honorable mention, I do really like 4th of July. We would where I grew up was a little mountain town, so we weren't allowed to do fireworks on our own just because of the
Oh,
fire hazard.
right.
But there's a lake that well, there are a couple lakes, a few lakes up in the mountains.
Hmm.
But we would go to the lake near my home, and there was like a professionally done fireworks show there.
Oh,
And
nice.
so you just stand around the water and see fireworks at some point whenever it got dark, and it was always fun. But one day, another little funny holiday story. um, it was the 4th of July specifically, and I was running around because I was really hyper, and I was running around the baseball field, and I learned that day that fences are really hard to see in the dark. So I was running around. I ran straight into the fence.
Oh,
I knocked the wind out of myself. And the next day, I noticed I had markings on my face
oh my
from the fence. And I was like, wow, I really thought that only happened in cartoons. But here I am with the fence markings on my face. um, so yeah, that was just a
God.
fun little 4th of July thing that happened. I was also in summer school at the time. My mom liked to put us in summer school.
Hmm.
Uh, she liked putting us in school in general. um, so I went to school the next day, and I was like, I know everyone. I ran into a fence. It wasn't my proudest moment. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at some of the answers. Dave's House says favorite IRL holiday is New Year's. That's a new one. We haven't gotten that answer yet. A lot of Christmases and toy days. And in game is Halloween. I agree. Halloween is so much fun. Um, and then New Year's. I guess I I used to never do anything really for New Year's, but then I started doing things, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I always do this a kind of strange thing, or not too like memorable, but to me it's kind of a special. I play, right at midnight, I'm playing the game that I consider my personal game of the year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this past year it was Splatoon 2, and we'll see what game it's gonna be this year.
Yeah, I like that. Splatoon 2, I think, was also my game of the year last year. And so far, it's probably my game of the year this
Yeah,
year
right?
because I'm still playing it all the time. And then Samzy says, well, my second favorite holiday in Animal Crossing is City Folk's Firework Festival. It stands out to me as I can light Tortimer's shell on fire. Wait, you can?
Oh.
I did not know this. You can that poor tortoise. Sorry, I always get corrected when I call him a turtle. He's a tortoise. Keith says my favorite real life holiday is Saint Martin's Day. It's like the equivalent of Halloween in the U.S. Oh, that's pretty cool. I hadn't heard of Saint Martin's Day,
No.
but Halloween
Hmm.
is super fun. Oh, okay. With the Roman candle, I get it. So you kind of hold the Roman candle there, and if you stand
Oh.
behind Tortimer, it'd be like his shell is on fire. I do remember that. I like that. So I guess another little fun holiday thing I wanted to go over is some game specific holidays. So these are Animal Crossing holidays that only showed up in that single Animal Crossing game. Um, and so I got one from each of them, except for the spin off titles. So I'll go ahead and start with the GameCube holiday. In this one, you could celebrate Officers' Day. And Officers' Day was a day to celebrate the good deeds performed by Copper and Booker. And if you talked to Tortimer, who I assumed would stand in the little plaza town tree area, but if you talk to him, he'll give you a police station model that you could put in your house.
Oh,
So
nice.
um, I I always liked the look of that like little police station in the first one.
Hmm.
We haven't quite gotten one like that in the later games,
Yes.
because Copper and Booker in Wild World and City Folk moved up to the gates,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So they would stand in that northern portion of town, inside of your town gates, and that's where you could talk to them for all of the regular cop
Yes.
things, the
Right.
officer things. um, so yeah, and then in New Leaf, I was kind of sad about this,
Right.
but in New Leaf, you could either get Copper or Booker. And I went with Booker just because I liked the wooden look to the police station.
Yes.
I think it went with my aesthetic for my town a little bit better.
Right. I had to pick that one because my town name is Madera, which is wood. So yeah, that was chosen already for me.
Yeah. And then I guess the one cool thing about the Welcome Amiibo update was that you could finally meet the other cop,
Right, right.
the other officer, through the campsite. So if you have Booker in your town, like both of us did, Copper would show up with the camper in the campsite. Um,
Yeah, I always wanted a way to either switch to the other police station or for either Booker or Copper to show up instead of the other person just randomly, just to be able to talk to both at some point.
yeah, I think I just like it better when they're both in your town. They're
Yes.
kind of they're fun, like professional, like try hard cop, and kind of ditzy,
Yeah.
doesn't really know what's going on cop. I think both their characters are super fun.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, it'd be fun to have them both. And I don't know, on the New Leaf chat, during the week, I was kind of posting all of the villagers who don't have like amiibo or campers. And so one of the unfortunate things is, sure, I can see Copper in a camper, but I can't see Booker in one. Um, so if like anybody ever has Booker in their town, in their campers,
Mm,
that's my only opportunity. Like I'd have to visit their town and see Booker there
right,
that way.
right.
I think I did do that once, but it's kind of rare, because they don't show up all the time.
Yes.
And yeah, so as far as I made the quick list of who shows up or who doesn't show up in campers.
Mhm.
And so there's Harriet, who runs the salon, Leaf running the garden shop, Luna from the Dream Suite, Katrina, the fortune teller, Porter, who handles all of your stuff at the train station, LaBelle or Label,
Mhm.
who is the other Able sisters, Mabel. So two of the three
Right.
Able sisters we don't ever see in a camper. We have Gracie Grace. We have Pelly, Pete, and Phyllis,
Oh,
who work at the post office. There's Lyle, who runs, the Happy Home Showcase.
yes.
Red, Crazy Red,
Oh.
with the craziest of deals. We have Shrunk from Club LOL. Tortimer, our everyone's favorite mayor. um, Brewster, which that's unfortunate. I feel like a
Oh,
lot of people would
yes.
really want to see Brewster. Um, and then we have Copper and Booker, depending on either. Don Rossetti, who we actually do see in this game
Mhm.
occasionally. If you build the Reset Center, sometimes you can go in there. I think after a rainy day.
Oh, that's
Um,
how?
yeah, I think it has to rain the day before, and then that night, like at
Yes.
8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or something, it opens up and you can go down there and you'll see either Don Rossetti or actual Rossetti.
I
um,
remember the first time I saw that, I was so surprised by that. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun. And then Wisp, of course,
Ah,
which
yes.
you could technically see Wisp if you scan in the Super Smash Bros. Villager amiibo.
Oh.
Wisp will show up in a camper in your campsite, and he'll say, "This character is way too legendary. I couldn't get him to come." And he's kind of there in a villager camper, but it's not really his own camper.
Right.
So it'd be pretty cool to see Wisp.
So, what happens when you scan an amiibo card of the other characters?
The amiibo cards will give you an item from them. So typically, the first item you get is a portrait.
Mm,
So I have Isabel's portrait because I scanned in her card, and she just gave me like a photo of herself.
right,
Um, so it's a real easy way to get photos of every single villager in town,
right.
but it also takes like 400 days.
True.
to do it. And even more, 450 with
Yeah.
the
Yep.
RV cards.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to get. I should start scanning more in. I always forget, and it's unfortunate. So anyways, we spent a while there on the GameCube specific, kind of went off on a tangent there. But it's funny enough, I think Samzy has mentioned Lottie Day
Yes.
from Wild World, which was the holiday I was going to focus on. So Lottie Day is only in Wild World. It might be, I think, in City Folk too, but it was introduced in Wild World for
Mhm.
sure. Um, but anyways, it's a day where villagers compete to make the best town tune, and the winning tune becomes your town tune. I forget how the voting works or if there was voting, but yeah, I think you could walk up to each of your villagers. At the time, you had 8 villagers in that game, but you could walk up
Yes.
to each of them and they would sing you a little song, and it was nice. It was a fun way to get your new town tune for, just the town.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that sounds awesome.
yeah, because I think making town tunes is something I always forget to do. I make one and then it's pretty much that town tune for years and
Yes.
years and
Right.
years. Um, have you done any like specific town tunes, any game themed town tunes?
For Madera, I do a part of a song called Ready Steady Go, which is from a Japanese anime, I think Full Metal Alchemist. But I
Yeah.
actually know it from Endan, which is a rhythm game for the DS. The Japanese version of Elite Beat Agents, if anybody knows that game. Yeah, I always found it really catchy, so I went with that one. And like you said, I just don't change it because I feel like that's part of my town. You know, the town tune. You always hear it, and I think it sort of belongs there. It would be nice to have different ones that could alternate, but if it's only just one, I'm gonna keep it just the one. For
Yeah.
for the little town that I had at Madero, which I was using to record KK songs, I did a little part of a Dragon Ball song, and yeah, that was nice too.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I never really did like any real songs. I guess real songs in the sense of like songs that I didn't write.
Right.
Cuz my town tune in Haken for a long time was a song that I wrote, that I used to play with my band.
Ooh.
Um but funny enough, when I was like trying to put it in as a song, it's a little bit altered from the original
Oh,
because there
yes.
aren't like flats or sharps,
Yes. Right.
in the town tune option. So I couldn't quite get the right notes for it.
Right.
There's a flat note that I play that kind of makes the whole lick for me, like the riff that I
Yes.
play there.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I could never get it exactly in that. So that's an update that I want to see
Yes.
in the next Animal Crossing. Like, give us a full range of the notes that you could play for your town tune.
Yeah, and
Um,
maybe a couple more note spaces, like a little bit longer song.
yeah, that would be awesome. Because you can always put in blank notes and
Yeah.
it'd be the end of the town tune. Maybe let you add notes or something.
Yes.
Um, or delete notes, and make it like as long as it needs to be
Right.
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 Yeah. So, um, anyways, let's move on to a city folk specific holiday. I've listed Bunny Day because, funny enough, Bunny Day was introduced in City Folk. This was our first time seeing that scoundrel Zipper T Bunny. Um, we all know him. He's famous for having a zipper on the back of what is obviously a suit. But what we don't know is who Zipper T Bunny really is. And the world may never know, but there are long debates on this throughout the internet.
Yes. Right.
Do you have any ideas, Sergio?
Not sure. I think it just might be another human. I think for some reason that's the theory that I usually go with. We were joking earlier that maybe this could be the plot for another Animal Crossing movie.
Yeah, I'd love to see another Animal Crossing movie, and it'd be fun. Because I feel like introducing like another human character that the human character speaks to, and it just happens to be somebody hiding a zipper tea bunny. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I see Samzy has said Zipper is Farley, and Farley was a little gnome character in the original GameCube game,
Yes.
who I think lived in the fountain, right?
Right.
Um, Everybody, if you're listening, put in who you think Zipper T Bunny is. I guess my first thought was always Mayor Tortimer. Um,
Yeah,
but
that
now
that
that
one
I,
makes sense too.
but now that I think of it, I don't remember if I saw Mayor Tortimer in his office during Bunny Day.
Hmm.
Um, maybe I'll
Oh, in
check it
City Folk.
out.
Right. Right.
Maybe I'll check that out in City Folk. Since I don't know, I'll probably start a file that I just time travel in and look at different things. um, but yeah, I'll check that out in City Folk and see if Tortimer is around. Then that's one, I guess, character that it cannot be.
Right.
And I'm assuming a lot of the characters around the shops and things don't are usually in their shops, so they can't be Zipper T Bunny,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
um, oh, so Samzy says I wrote an essay on it a while back, but I won't copy and paste it here. But it could very well be Farley is Zipper T Bunny.
Ooh, what if it's Rover?
Oh yeah, that's true. Rover's
Yeah.
always going to different towns and everything, so Rover could be the man behind the mask. um, so yeah, I guess finally in New Leaf, I wish there was a more interesting one, but one holiday that was introduced in New Leaf was Shamrock Day, which coincides with real life St. Patrick's Day. But if you go to the plaza, you can stick your face into one of those standees and you can talk to Isabel and she'll give you a shamrock hat. So nothing too big on Shamrock Day. I guess one thing I'd like to see in the new Animal Crossing is, I guess, more of those special characters that only come around for one holiday.
Yes.
Um, just to kind of, give more of an interesting face behind the holiday, Because I think the holidays that always stick out are the ones that have a specific character tied to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if there's an international something day that makes sense with a character, for example, right away I thought of International Coffee Day for Brewster. That could be his highlight. If there's an international shopping day or retail day, that could be for Reese and Cyrus.
I'm just thinking already like how cute it would be to have like Brewster have a little to go coffee cart out on the
Yes.
plaza. Um, yeah, I think that'd be tons of fun.
Yeah.
And he had like a whole selection of like beans that you could buy and things. Because what I really like about Animal Crossing are all those little side items that don't really go
Yes.
into your catalog, but you can collect them and put them in your home. Like,
Right.
they have the bag of flour, the little coffee beans, a bunch of other things like that you can get during Thanksgiving specifically.
Right.
Um, so I always try to get extras of those and think my kitchen is going to be so cute with these items. I'm going to have these counters. And yeah, there's some specific things that I want to make now with some of the newer items that were added through Welcome Amiibo too.
Yes.
And I think it'll make those items that you can only get during like special holidays or like that,
Hmm.
like just more fun to use. Um,
Right. Right. And for Shamrock Day, if we want to make it a little more interesting, maybe Rooster could sell Shamrock shakes, but that's probably copyrighted.
oh yeah, that's true. Just some specific drinks for that holiday. Um, but yeah, now thinking of it, like I want to see more of the townspeople come out and celebrate the holiday. I know it makes it hard when like the shops are closed. You're like, oh, this day is kind of a dud because I can't do anything. But like if all the townspeople were still, I guess like working at like kind of a fair thing at the town hall, that'd be super fun,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah. So I want to see more people, more villagers, more of the special characters just get involved in the
Yes.
holidays.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Um,
sense. Hopefully.
yeah, because I remember, and I'm gonna be making a series about this. Last week I talked about getting a GameCube and another copy of Animal Crossing on the GameCube to record some specific things. But the specific things I want to talk about are going to be like 5 features that I want to see from older Animal Crossing games in the new Animal Crossing game.
Hmm.
And one feature that stood out for me in the GameCube game was every purchase that you made on at Nooks, you would get some tickets, and every 5 tickets, you'd have like a little bundle that you could trade in at the end of the month. And Nook's store was closed, and you couldn't really do anything. But if you did go in, you could enter the raffles,
Yes. Hmm.
And while it was a little bit annoying because I was like, I want to sell things and make more money,
Yeah.
I was always like, okay, this is pretty cool because I got to get some cool
Right.
items
Right.
from buying things in the store, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I wouldn't mind if the shops were closed like one day if it meant that more people were interacting with you during a holiday.
Right. Yeah, it would be like you were saying, the villagers and the special characters coming out and being part of the entire celebration. That would be so awesome. I think it's understandable in a way in New Leaf because of the limitations of the system that you can only see maybe 4 or 5 villagers out at once. But on the Switch, which we assume is going to be the system to get the next game, there's a lot more power there. I want to see all the characters, even Tom Nook and Reese and Cyrus, everyone out there at the plaza to celebrate, for example, New Year's or something big like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're getting into, just how much more power Animal Crossing would have on a system like the Switch that just has more opportunities, more capabilities to give you like a bigger experience.
Mhm.
So I guess we're gonna move on from holidays. This has been a long chat on all things holidays in Animal Crossing, and because this topic actually gets us straight into some questions from the Discord and Patreon that we got. So Nate Lai, who is one of our newest patrons on Patreon, um, he asked me over messages on Patreon because we were kind of talking a little bit, but he said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for PAX and Gamescom. I guess just context for this. Fingers crossed for like an Animal Crossing type of announcement. Um, so he said PAX will be at the end of October and Gamescom will be at the end of August. But I don't think Animal Crossing has ever been announced in those events, but who knows? What are your thoughts about that? And then he also asked, and looking at the Animal Crossing series, I find a pattern how every second installment is always based on the original engine of the first. Example for City Folk for Wild World, and population growing for the original Animal Forest game on like N64, right?
Mhm.
My theory is they're taking longer because they're actually creating a brand new engine which isn't going to be based on New Leaf's engine. What do you think?
Yes.
So let's actually start with the engine thing. I agree 100% that I think this Animal Crossing is not going to be based on that same New Leaf type of engine.
Mhm.
And most of my feelings behind that is because this is the first Animal Crossing game that we're going to get in HD, assuming that it comes to the Switch,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I think that's going to call for like all of these new assets, all of this new look, this new, just a bunch of new things that
Right.
they can do with Animal Crossing. And so I agree 100% that there's a new engine in the works for this Animal Crossing game. And the wait between City Folk and New Leaf was pretty long. Like it was a
Yes.
good 5 year wait,
Yes.
um, 4 to 5 years. If you were in
But
Japan, it was about 4.
right. But if you take it back a little bit, because City Folk was pretty much using the same engine as Wild World. So in between Wild World and New Leaf, when they develop a new engine, That's a lot more years. Let's see,
That's true.
2005 to 2013. So it's 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. Oh,
Hopefully, we don't
goodness.
have to wait that long for the next one. But
Well,
yeah,
technically we're on year 6 right now.
right,
So,
man.
oh, that hurts my heart.
See, but it makes sense too because let's just assume that everything they do, all the assets, all the characters, they have to look great from every angle because we're finally gonna have a free roaming camera. We're hoping.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we don't know what kind of camera we're even going to get
Right.
in the game. So, like, they could be rethinking that itself because one of the big moves from like GameCube to DS was going away from the acre system where you only
Yes.
saw like a portion of the map at a time to having like the entire world loaded already
Right.
in that pin world kind of view. Sam Z also mentioned right now that Amiibo Festival was HD. I think because Amiibo Festival was pretty different and every like environment that they built for that game was pretty standalone, you know. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's gonna work different from that, and they didn't really have to worry about like having different angles and that kind of thing.
Right.
Um, but but the one good thing is like they do have HD assets for characters. Like we got it through the Animal Crossing Plaza on
True.
the Wii U and through Amiibo Festival. So there is something to work off of there. I'm just hoping they totally revamp it though. Like
Yes.
if we're waiting, like you said, 7 to 8 years for this game, I want it to be like feel like a really beautiful new big game in the Animal Crossing series.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, and also he continues and says, I think it was based off Mario Party, which makes sense because ND Cube, of course, worked on
Right.
that, and they do the Mario Party games, so they're pretty professional on that. Ruby Crimson says she's afraid or scared of the free camera. Um, I think there are ways that it can be done well. I I think I totally get the fear too because I want the Animal Crossing charm to be there.
Hmm.
Obviously, you know. Um,
It would definitely feel so different.
yeah, uh, yeah. Even like adding just like a few angles
Hmm.
to
Like
the outside
yeah,
world.
like at home when you can spin around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like you had some the certain viewing angles within your home,
Right.
um, and so adding that would be pretty fun.
Yeah. I was trying to think if there's other games that have the pinwheel world system. I don't know. I don't think so.
I can't really think of any. Um, Animal Crossing is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess real quick to your first thought too, Nate, about thoughts about things getting announced either at PAX or Gamescom.
Mhm.
Um, I guess I feel like those haven't really been big for Nintendo in the past in terms of announcements. But I could definitely see them doing like directs of their own around that time period. Um, Probably before them occurring. So
Yes.
then people are like, oh, what kind of games am I going to be able to play at the Nintendo booth, you know?
Right.
So I could see like directs definitely before those time periods. Probably more packs. So October is a good fall month for a direct. So I
Yes.
could see that happening there.
Right. Or if they were to announce like a small game, like a spin-off or a downloadable only game. But at this time, at this point, we had plenty of those, and we still have Pocket Camp. We just want a mainline, and like you said, these events are not, in theory, big enough for an Animal Crossing reveal. Who knows? We're hopeful. We'll see.
Yeah. Um, Man, now I'm just worried that they're really going to take like 7 to 8 years. Because my biggest worry, my joke kind of prediction for Animal Crossing has been January 1st, 2021. And that's because January 1st of that year is a Friday, the day
Right.
Nintendo games come out. And it's the very first day of the year, which would probably be the best day to start an Animal Crossing game.
Oh,
Um, but and it's far away, so Nintendo can torture us with waiting longer.
Oh
So
man,
those are three really good reasons for it to come out that day.
that's a
But
good reason.
I'm hoping I'm not right. um, but now I'm like, man, is 2019 too soon? I hope not.
No, I hope not.
Because, like, I feel they played with the New Leaf engine more to make Happy Home Designer.
Right.
And Happy Home Designer was awesome. I think the one thing they did change with Happy Home Designer was the viewing angles.
Mhm.
I really like the camera movement inside of your, I guess, designs. Like, say you're decorating someone's home, the angles that you could get with the camera there were a lot better. They were
Yes.
pretty great. A
Mhm.
lot more fluid too. Like, it wasn't like stuck to certain angles to see the room.
Right.
Um, so maybe I'll do a video on that to kind of show off those. Because I do want to start doing like some Happy Home Designer let's plays
Nice.
because I have fun with that game. It takes me way too long to decorate things though. I remember when that game came out, I'd start like a design at night and I'd get kind of sleepy and then I'd just close my 3DS and go to bed and then I'd wake up and design a little bit more before going to work.
Nice. Oh, you're
So
dedicated.
yeah, I liked that game. I
Yeah.
had fun with it. I thought the things that they improved with decorating are all things that I want to see in the next game for
Yes.
sure.
Right. Right.
um, yeah, so I guess we'll move on to another question. Ben Samsey asked, "What is your favorite, or what are your favorite AC games and characters?" I guess I know you have an answer ready for that, or at least the character portion.
Yes. So definitely my favorite character, and this is by far, really, really far. It's KK Slider. I would dare say I'm the number one KK Slider fan. I know Bam Samsi is as well. I challenge you.
Yeah, you both are huge KK Slider fans. I guess in terms of games, do you want to try to rank your like Animal Crossing games
Right,
right now?
right. And the favorite has to be New Leaf because everything that it brought together and it offers you the most content and the most features. I guess the only thing it doesn't is offer you the most villagers in your town, but other than that, it has the most content and it's the most up to date and it's the most refined Animal Crossing experience. But other than that, my second favorite is the original because of how different it is and because it was the first one.
So far, I agree with both of those. I'd say New Leaf is my favorite. Just in terms of like things you can do, things that are possible, it's got the most going on for it. And then the GameCube one, it just had so many like quirks that are so unique to that game that it continues to stand out in the series.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I'd say from there, I might actually say Happy Home Designer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, even before like City Folk. I think City Folk would be right after Happy Home Designer.
Yes.
Um, but I think Happy Home Designer, like, as the first official like spin-off title for Animal Crossing, I think it did something like so specific and it did it so well that it stands out for me.
Oh, nice. I would say it's my favorite spin-off for sure of the three technically that we have. But I think I like City Folk more still because it was my return in a way for Animal Crossing because mostly skip Wild World. So
Yeah,
it was nice to be back finally.
yeah, and City Folk, like, it has its own little unique quirks that I think Wild World wasn't strong enough to add some things that City Folk
Mm.
pulled off.
Hmm.
And then City Folk had some unique characters in it too. Like Frillard was a unique character who
Yes.
was Shrunk's mentor. And I think her name was Serena. She was the little chihuahua who spirit who lived in the fountain.
Right.
Um, so it had a lot of cool little secrets to it that I appreciated a lot. And it brought back like some holidays that were missing from Wild World.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess from there, we have Wild World left, Pocket Camp, and Amiibo Festival. And that's
Hmm.
probably the order I would put them
Yes. Yes.
in.
For
Pocket
Vivo
Camp,
Festival.
yeah, Pocket Camp took a hit for me recently. And just I haven't been playing it too much. I'm a little bit over it,
Mhm.
and maybe it's more because I'm just upset that that's all we have right now instead of a new Animal Crossing game.
Yes, I think if we, at this point, based on how we feel about it, if we were still playing it, it would go down the ranks. So I think we had a great time with Pocket Camp. It came out at a time when we were hungry for Animal Crossing content. We still are, by the way. So I remember my time with Pocket Camp fondly, but yeah, I'm waiting for something new, something more substantial.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And real quickly, I guess on Amiibo Festival, I still think that the idea for Amiibo Festival is a good idea.
Mhm.
An Animal Crossing party game slash board game type of thing, great idea. Unfortunately, the execution of it, not great,
Yes.
not good.
Yes.
um, there are a lot of opportunities to make a really great game out of that idea. So yeah, I'd love to see them revisit it. Don't want it before a new
Right.
mainline game though.
Right. After a new mainline game, then yeah, take some time and work with the Mario Party staff and not only to copy that, but to get what works from there, and then switch it up with Animal Crossing content that makes sense for Animal Crossing, and there could be something really nice in there.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess real quickly for characters, I like Reese, I like Cyrus, I like KK. I don't know if you've heard past podcasts. I've kind of talked about why KK took a drop for me in New Leaf, and it was mostly because like his album started showing up in the store, and I was
Right.
like, I don't know, man. I feel like this was not you before. Like, kind of feels a bit like a sellout right now, but I've forgiven it. I think he's done a lot of. When I see it as like him doing a do-it-yourself kind of musician,
Mhm.
that's a huge step for KK. So I
True.
respect
Right.
it. I respect it now, but before initially I was like, why? um, and then villagers. Right now, I really like Leonard. Or is that my
Yes.
leopard's name? In yeah, I'm liking Leonard. He's so cute. I always kind of like the sporty villagers. I'm not too sporty myself, but I don't know. Their characters are just kind of charming to me
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
in the game. So yeah, right now I'd say I like him as my villager of choice in my
Nice.
town right now. um, So, Ruby Crimson has asked, it has been said recently that Nintendo is considering maybe creating a 3DS handheld successor. Do you think this will imply a delay on the release of Animal Crossing? How do you think a 3DS successor will slash would impact the future of Animal Crossing?
That's a tough question, and it's true. Recently, the newly appointed president of Nintendo was asked about the 3DS, and he said, "We're exploring all possibilities because I feel that the 3DS has some advantages over the Switch." That's what he said, and it's an interesting answer. At this point, mostly everybody thought, the 3DS has a few games coming out still, but that's about it. We don't really know how the Nintendo's strictly portable line of systems is going to continue. So, with his answer, who knows? Can you think of specific advantages that the 3DS has? For me, I can think of Street Pass and backwards compatibility with 3DS games and also DS games if they manage to keep that in.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess one of the big things that I'm for sure going to miss on the Switch game is the Street Pass.
Right.
I know I'm gonna make a video specifically about this because some people have just started playing New Leaf and it's pretty late in the 3DS life cycle, so it's getting so much harder to get a street pass.
Yes.
Even going to conventions, like it's becoming like I've noticeably seen a difference.
Mm.
Like it's not as much. I remember the first year New Leaf came out, I went to Comic Con in San Diego, which is international Comic Con. People from all over the world are there, and my every night I spent like I don't know how long going through every single house in
Oh well.
in the Happy Home Showcase. Like it was full every single day. And I remember I'd have to save homes to so they wouldn't disappear the next
Yes.
day.
Right.
um, yeah, but it was a huge deal for me going through every house. But the hard thing was like I could only order 5 things a
Right.
day, and so I'd have to choose like the right houses to keep in my place because I was like I need items from here that I can't order. But yeah, the street pass is definitely the thing I'm gonna miss. Because if you ever go to a cool like convention or anything, like you're bound to run into people and get really cool experiences going to people's homes there.
Mhm.
So I'd say that's for sure an advantage to the 3DS. But right now it's so minimal. Like nobody,
Yes.
so few people are carrying around their 3DS anymore. Let alone like having it on and Street Pass ready.
Right.
Um, I'll try. I'm going on a flight this week.
Mhm.
Actually tomorrow. For everybody listening live, it's tomorrow. For everybody listening Tuesday, I've gone on 2 flights now. um, but yeah, so I think I'm gonna turn on the 3DS, see what kind of Street Pass I get there. But it hasn't been much lately.
Right.
Um,
And I was hoping that they would add it to the Switch via firmware update. I think if they were able to, they would have done it already. I don't think they will.
yeah, yeah.
I
Uh,
guess it might not be possible. You know what? It sounds a little silly, but it may be because the Switch itself doesn't have like a blinking LED light, notification light, which
mhm.
to this day I don't know why it doesn't.
Yeah, it seems weird that it wouldn't. Maybe they could do it through like a Joy-Con or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The Joy-Con is supposed to
Like
light
the
up,
home
but I
button
don't think
kind of
we've
lights
we've
up,
ever
right?
seen it. Right.
I haven't seen
No.
it. So I feel like it's possible. My, I guess going back to like a 3DS successor, I mentioned this in the chat, but if we're seeing a new 3DS.
Right.
I would want it to be an HDS, like an HD, like both screens are HD. Um, because my thing is like, what excites me most about a new Animal Crossing game is that having that experience being high definition, like a high quality looking Animal Crossing. Like they all look really great, but to see it in HD would totally change it for me, you know?
Yes.
So if the next Animal Crossing game is going to be on a 3DS successor, because I feel like that's tempting for Nintendo. Handheld systems has always been a huge business for Nintendo. They perform extremely well, um, but I think it would have to be HD at this point because the Switch is handheld.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to me that they wouldn't just like switch over to the Switch. um, like it feels like it makes sense to just move on and focus all of your efforts on what great technology you already have doing both of the things that you already do so well,
Yes.
you
And
know.
it's not like the Switch doesn't feel like a portable device. I mean, if that's how you do most of your Switch gaming, it's perfectly suitable for that. So if the next or if the HDS is strictly mobile, I think if that were to happen, it's probably better if it has some sort of data system like mobile phones.
Hmm.
Basically, if you're gonna go mobile only with a new 3DS successor, then go all mobile and do everything that the Switch cannot do as a mobile device.
Yeah, that'd be great. um so yeah, I want to see it HD more than anything. So if the successor to the handheld, um, or well, the next big handheld from Nintendo comes out, I need it to be HD because right now we have
Yes.
a handheld from Nintendo that's out and it's HD.
Oh yeah,
The
and it's a
Switch looks
very nice
great.
HD.
Yeah, so I don't know. It just makes too much sense to just move on and focus on the Switch.
Yes.
I'm even becoming more open to the idea of a Switch that is strictly handheld, though I don't think the name Switch fits well with
Right.
that because it doesn't switch back and forth. Like it doesn't have the whole gimmick that makes it called a Switch.
Right.
But I am open to it just being like a handheld only Switch, you know?
The Switch Go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're already selling like the Switch standalone
Yes. Right.
in Japan. Um, I think it's like $50 off if we were to convert it to US dollars.
Yes. I think
So,
that's a hint towards what could possibly happen.
yeah. And so it doesn't come with the dock, and it's for people who probably already have a Switch in their home and a dock already, you know?
Right.
Um, or people who just want the Switch and don't want the dock.
Right.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next question we got from DigiCho. And if any of you want to drop in any last second questions, you can do so now because I think this is our last one before the show is over. So last minute questions now open, taking them. So DigiCho said, if there is a new Nintendo handheld coming to replace the 3DS, what exactly would you want it to do differently from the Switch? Okay, so this was kind of what we were talking about. Um, but also a little different because I guess we didn't talk specifically about what we want it to do differently
Right.
from the Switch.
Right.
Uh, um, I mean, I still love Street Pass to make a return on it.
Yes. That's a must.
Um, I guess the clamshell design is still really great.
Yes.
Like the Switch doesn't have that. Like it's just the flat tablet kind of thing. So retaining kind of a clamshell, be it one screen or two, I think that's a good move.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
I would expect it to remain with the two screens just so it can be even more different than the Switch, and also so that it could have 3DS backwards compatibility and hopefully also DS because if you have those two, I mean even if you have just 3DS, but also if you are able to add the DS, that's a humongous backlog of really good games.
Yeah, if it were backwards compatible with just the 3DS and you know what? Make it an all-in-one handheld. It can play Game Boy
Oh
Advance,
man.
Game Boy, Game Boy Color, DS, 3DS. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe that's why Nintendo is not too big on a portable virtual console. They might be waiting for something like this.
Yeah, and yeah. So I don't know. I I guess it's hard to imagine a handheld now when I know the Switch already is
Yes,
that.
right, right.
um, so it's hard to think of it outside of like, the obvious things that the Switch doesn't have, which I said, like Street Pass, clamshell kind of design.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's hard. Real quick in the comments, Sam Z had Nintendo Don't Switch for the name, and I really quickly edited that to Nintendo Don't Switch. That's what the purely handheld console could be called. So, let me see. Were there any questions from anybody? New question from Samzy. Just noticed there's another gardening event for Pocket Camp coming soon. Are you tired of these? I know Sergio, you've been tired of them
Yes,
for a while.
yes.
um, yeah, and I completely missed this fishing tourney because I think there
Mm,
was one going on the past week, and I didn't do it at all. So
right.
yeah, like I said, we haven't been playing. I have been tempted to log in and see what if anything was happening, but I haven't.
Yeah, no.
I'll Yeah, I
Did
might get back to the game in maybe like a month or so, but right now I haven't felt the need to.
right. If anything KK related pops up, I'll be back. But that's what it's gonna take for me to come back.
Yeah, that's true. You'll come back for anything,
Yeah.
KK. Cool. Well, then, I guess thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of this conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. It's where we do our live shows, it's where we have a little chat room for everybody to talk to us during the show. And you can find a link in the description of this podcast, either YouTube, wherever you're listening, iTunes, Spotify. No, not Spotify. SoundCloud is what I meant to say. Nobody's on Spotify. I don't know how to get the podcast
Right.
there. But yeah, it's totally free to join the Discord. You don't have to be a patron. If you do join, you get our friend codes for things. I'll probably remind everybody about the list and where to find that. And yeah, if you do want to become a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support our show, get tons of cool things. I am working on a new kind of diary series that I think patrons are going to have early access to. So I think it's going to be fun. It's an idea that I've tried to do in the past, but haven't quite stuck to it. But I'm hoping now that I have the technology and the right things in place that it'll work out. So yeah, other people will probably have access to it a week later. So yeah, our patrons will get early access to that. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, please leave a comment about your favorite holidays in Animal Crossing. Any holidays that are missing that you want in the game, let us know. And please leave a review for the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you all so much for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.